let's focus on a really important part of design, because design is not only made up of graphics and graphic elements, but design is also made up of typography. Let's have a look at how the principles of typography work. This tutorial will be a very basic guide into the principles of typography, as the name of the presentation implies, and in order to improve your typography within your designs. This is actually a quote that I found on the internet a while ago that I really gelled with. I think it is such a beautiful quote, and it relates to this whole section that we're going to be covering in this tutorial. It states that type is a beautiful group of letters and not a group of beautiful letters. How do we justify this quote? Well, what it's telling us is that in order to have successful typography in a design, we need to be able to format the group of letters beautifully. It's not only about a group of beautiful letters, which means all the fancy fonts. Typography's main principle is that we format typography beautifully. As we can see in this next slide, typography is the art of arranging type in order to make this language visible. Absolutely. Type is a language. Typography is a language. And if we can't express it verbally, audibly, let's express it visibly with beautiful formatting. So what are we talking about creating this beautiful group of letters? The formatting of the text. Successful formatting of type involves the selection of typefaces, or as we loosely call them today, fonts, the size of the font or the typeface, the length of the line with all the type in it, the leading, which is the line spacing, adjusting the spaces between the groups of letters, which we call tracking, and adjusting the spaces between pairs of letters, which we call kerning. It is such a beautiful and simple concept. The two main influencing features are simple. Text must be legible and text must be readable. What's the difference? In order for text to be legible, it is concerned with how easy it is to distinguish individual letters one from another in a given typeface. This is not to imply that initially we have to absorb the text and understand its meaning straight away. No, it's just implying that we can identify and separate one character from another. The simpler a type design is, the more legible it will be. What is readable? Readability refers to the ease with which the eye can absorb the words and phrases and blocks of text and then make it into an understandable language for your brain to comprehend or to put the message across to your viewer. That is the difference between legibility and readability. I think this graphic sums it up very nicely for legibility. A measure of how easy it is to distinguish one letter from another. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We can see that the top line of text is legible, but the bottom line of text is not legible. So whilst the bottom line of text might appeal to certain designers to be used in certain designs, it's not legible. It's not easy to differentiate one letter from the other. We refer to and we measure the size of typefaces and fonts in point sizes. The smaller the point size, the smaller the type, and the larger the point size, the larger the type. In this Principles of Typography lecture, we're going to be looking at two divisions or two categories of type, mainly serif and sans serif type fonts. Serif fonts comprise the small features at the end of the strokes within letters. Where there is a typeface without the serifs, we call that sans serif, derived from the French word sans, meaning without. Here's the serifs. Here's the serifs. Sans serif font, no serifs. A much rounder font with a totally different look and feel. In summary, let's have a look graphically at what we've just been discussing, which, not to lose the bigger picture, which all relates to how to create a beautiful group of letters and the formatting that is associated with it. So we can see from the left-hand corner, we've got a sans serif font. This is a serif font. We can see the serifs. The spacing between the lines of text, that is called the leading. The spacing in between pairs of letters is called kerning. This is known as italic. Baseline is the area at which the bottom of the typeface rests. The ascender is where the top of the typeface reaches to. And then we have the type size, how big or small your typeface is going to be. All of this goes into reinforcing our idea about creating a beautiful group of letters and the formatting associated with it.